Welcome back to Inside Boxing Throwdown. Aurelio Martinez, boxing guru, Eric Duran. We want to come back to you now. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming fight this weekend between Triple G and Macklin. Not a whole lot of talk about that, but you know, Eric, I kind of like Triple G, and I'm one guy that will follow his career, and will also we can't leave you all without talking about the big fight coming up between Mayweather and Canelo. I mean, it's just something that every boxing fan out there is just kind of waiting to see it. And trust me, everyone's willing to let summer flash through and to watch this fight so it can hurry up. Me, I want to watch the fight, but I don't know if I'll go as far as saying let summer get out the way. I enjoy my summers, okay? So, but anyway, Eric, Triple G, Macklin coming up this weekend. How do you see that fight? What kind of style do you see there?
Well, Matthew Macklin is a very skilled, durable fighter. Leading up to the fight, he's been talking a pretty good game. Maybe enough to where, you know what, I'm giving him a little bit of better of a chance, and I'm taking Triple G's step up a little bit more. Gennady Golovkin is a hungry young fighter with a tremendous amateur background. It's HBO. This is his first headline event on HBO.
Yep.
This is his time to make that step. This is already, I believe, his 26th, 27th fight. They've brought him up just where they should, as far as who they matched him with. Where he goes from here, and I believe he wins the fight, and I believe he stops Macklin somewhere in the middle of the fight. He's just a tremendous puncher. And I think only the high-level boxing athletes are going to be able to hang with Gennady Golovkin.
Yeah. I'm with you. I like Triple G. I kind of liked him. There's certain fighters that I kind of followed up coming up, and just kind of sense that I liked him. Costa was one of them. Early on when I saw him when he was just starting, I just said, you know what, I like him. I'm going to follow his career, and he had a pretty good boxing career. I mean, he was entertaining, and I think we're going to see the same out of Triple G. I like Triple G. You talked about them bringing him up slowly and surely. I'm just hoping they don't hurt him, because you can actually bring up a fighter too slow.
Yes, you can.
Too slow, and then before you know it, boxing is it's like a time capsule. You have to know when to bust out, and if you let it pass, guess what? Your career's past you. So you say this is opportunity on HBO and stuff. I agree. He needs to shine, and he needs to move forward, and then he needs to go with your big name fighters, and he has to.
Like you said, I mean, this is a step up fight. But guys like Sergio Martinez, they're long in the tooth. You know, how many more fights before he retires, and Gennady Golovkin didn't get the chance?
Exactly.
You have guys like Andre Ward at 168 who are looking for a name to propel them as well. You have Adonis Stevenson, who can still fight at 168, who just dethroned the name can't come to my mind. I haven't fallen down.
Just knocked him out. Just knocked him
out.
Cunningham?
No.
I can see the fight.
You can see the fight happening.
I can see the punch.
You can see the fight happening. But he's in the position to where he can build upon the marketability he already has, the following he already has, with a high profile fight like Andre Ward or Adonis Stevenson.
Well, you know what? I think you're right, and I think right now is the time for Triple G to make his move. He needs to go in there, take care of business, and move to either make it or break it.
Exactly.
Okay? He's got to make it or break it. I mean, he can go in there with an Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward is really at that critical point where it's going to pass him by.
Exactly.
Where everyone's going to say, man, we could have had an outstanding champion and a household name and something that goes into books like with your top Mayweathers and everything.
Exactly.
But it's not happening with Andre Ward.
It's
just
not
happening.
And he needs this high profile fight. And like you said, some fighters can be brought along too slow or too fast. But unfortunately, sometimes they need to be. Fernando Vargas is a great point.
Yep.
A lot of people said, you know what, he's not ready for Tito Trinidad.
Too fast.
You know what? He wasn't ready.
But
you know what? He went in there, he put on a tremendous performance, and people loved him.
Aztec Warrior, I
You
love
know what I
Fernando
mean?
Vargas. That had a different effect because he went, he made his move, he made his impact, he showed the world, everyone fell in love with him, but they didn't know how to step him back a little bit.
Exactly.
I mean, he went fight after fight after fight after fight after fight after fight with nothing but top caliber.
But like you said, Andre Ward can be in a position where a lot of big fights pass him up.
Yeah.
So what happens if Fernando Vargas didn't take that Trinidad fight, didn't take the De La Hoya fight?
Yeah, yeah.
He might not be the legend
that everyone knows
about, that everyone loves, that everyone respects. Why?
I think you're right.
Because he took those fights.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone that I've talked to that says, Fernando Vargas, I don't like him.
Exactly.
I have never heard. I mean, Fernando Vargas is one of them fighters where you say, hey, he was the shit. So yeah.
Gennady Golovkin reminds me a lot of Fernando Vargas. Just he gets in the ring, he's hungry, he's determined, and he lets his hands go.
It's funny, but I think that's good. So I'm going to be tuning in this weekend on HBO to watch that fight because I just want to see how he handles his time in the limelight. Hopefully he doesn't get starstruck and it affects his output in the ring. But I'll be watching that. I'm just going to watch him and see what happens.
And speaking of Gennady Golovkin, if anyone has what is it? Comcast, they can go into HBO archives and watch 2-a-days with Gennady Golovkin, and it portrays his last fight to where 2 days prior he was sick with the flu. They were going to cancel the day of the fight, but he told his handlers, you know what, we're here. We made the weight. We need this opportunity. It's a fascinating story. It's only about 15 minutes long, but it takes you in depth of what happens 2 days prior to a fight.
Good. So we'll watch that. Now, we can't leave you all going without talking about Floyd Mayweather, the money man, and, of course, Saul Alvarez. And I want to call him Saul Alvarez because people out there kind of actually forget what his name is.
They do.
It's not Canelo. Canelo's his nickname, his moniker, you may call it, but his name's Saul. So let's give him the respect of calling him his name. His name is Saul.
You're right.
Saul Alvarez. You can say Saul Canelo Alvarez. There's nothing wrong with when you refer to Money Mayweather. Say money. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
Exactly. And before you move on, we're in a time of sports where athletes are known by one name. Ronaldo, Kobe, Messi,
A-Rod.
A-Rod. Now you know what? It's money. And you know what the thing about it? Now it's Canelo. No one really says Saul. No one saes Alvarez. Canelo.
I know, but I'm
that's the part of being a superstar, though.
But I'm actually talking about in print reporters that write stories, any kind of reporting, any kind of media. It's okay to call him Canelo. But if you're going to put a story together, give the man his respect by putting Saul, and then you can refer to him as Canelo. You don't do a whole story on Floyd Mayweather and never mention Floyd. Just Money Mayweather. His name is Saul. It's okay for him to be called Canelo, just like you said, A-Rod and stuff in talking. I think that's cool. That's real cool. Incidentally, Canelo, that word doesn't even exist in the Mexican language because they call him Canelo because cinnamon.
Yes.
Because of his hair.
Because of his hair.
But cinnamon is canela. Okay, canela is what cinnamon is called in Spanish. But they didn't want to call him Canela because of the A at the end.
Refers to a female. Yeah.
It's feminine.
Yeah.
So they just manufactured and threw an O there. Okay, Canelo. You can't go to the store and say, give me some Canelo.
Exactly.
But it's kind of cool. But I just wanted to throw that out because, people need to know what his real name is.
Let's talk about the fight. They just did the press tour kickoff in New York City.
Wow.
They did a 2-day press tour yesterday in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in Chicago. In Chicago, it was a 2-block wait just to get in.
Wow.
As we speak, they're in Atlanta right now. Thousands of people are showing up to these press tours. Tickets sold out within 4 hours. I couldn't get mine. I tried. This event is going to be huge.
It's mega, and we had an argument with some of my colleagues maybe a month ago when they were just working on the fight, and when it was actually just people talking about it, and we talked about what fight can break the record of Oscar De La Hoya, pay-per-view record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and of course I mentioned that if they ever put the Canelo Mayweather fight together, that would be one that can break it.
Yes.
And we went round and around with people on there, and I'm gonna tell you, Eric, it can. This fight really can break them numbers and set records.
Not only can it, I believe it will. What people have to realize is as big as Mayweather is, don't sleep on how big Canelo Alvarez is.
Right.
I mean, 41,000 people showed up to his last fight. and that was in Texas. So that means those 41,000 people are probably going to buy the fight. The problem with pay-per-view numbers, though, is myself, I always throw pay-per-view fights. I have 20 people who come to these fights.
Oh, sure.
Okay, 2 million might buy the fight. There's probably 8 to 10
million
to 20
that are
million
watching the
people
fight.
Watching the fight.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I do the same thing. We have it here. We order our pizzas. But, people come. They bring their beer. I don't drink, but they bring their beer, and we sit there and watch the fight.
These are events. I mean, Game 7 of the NBA Finals just happened. I watched it alone. Game 6 of the NHL Stanley Cup just happened. I didn't even watch it. But like I said, big time boxing events. These are like family get-togethers. These are holidays.
Yes.
People get together, they barbecue, they have a good time, they watch the fights.
Let me tell you, and throughout the years, I've been in boxing since I was a little kid, boxing amateur and professional, and then of course going into training and promoting. So boxing's kind of been my life, okay, and every now and then you always hear there's a black eye in boxing, boxing's dying, Eric, boxing will never die. It's just impossible because it's the art of your hands. It's the art of combat. It's the sport where the athlete has to get in the best possible shape he can. Number one, he has to have skills and talent to be elusive, and he has to have the right mind. There's a strategy in boxing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another thing is why boxing will never die is because it's one of the only sports where economy doesn't affect where you end up.
Right.
A boxer can literally, the song started from the bottom. Now we're here. That's definitely a song for a boxer.
Yes.
A boxer can start in poverty and end up in a mansion.
Yes, and that's usually the case.
You know what I mean?
Boxers are not your rich kids growing up.
And they're not. And they have fascinating stories because they can start from the bottom, end up at the top, and right back to the bottom. And that happens. You know what? And people buy that. People listen to those stories.
And that happens.
Mike Tyson hasn't fought in 10 years. Hasn't been in his limelight for 20. But he can go on a national tour and people show up, pay $60, $200 to see him talk about his life. Why?
Yes.
Because it's a fascinating story.
It's a fascinating story. Fascinating line. But let's go back to this fight now. It's real now. It's going to happen. It's real. Any of your views changing on your thoughts of the fight? Being now that we're starting to get more and more information, more activity, you're starting to see Canelo. I don't think anyone's ever really saw him face to face.
Exactly.
But I'm not sure Floyd's ever fought anyone bigger than him. He may have because he's fought he's fought everyone. But I'm just right off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of who he may have fought that was actually bigger and stronger than he is.
You know what? And here's the fascinating thing about boxing is, in most sports, bigger wins. In boxing,
not the case.
bigger doesn't always win. In New York, Floyd Mayweather made a statement. He says, "I'm a fighter. You can put me anywhere in the world, and I'll come out victorious." I gave Saul Alvarez a little bit of a chance to win this fight. Just because I'm in and out of the gyms, I see what he can bring to the table. But when Floyd Mayweather made that statement, I never questioned Floyd's skills. I don't think anyone can ever question their skills.
Yeah, no.
You may never be able to question his legacy as well. One thing that you can always question is maybe his killer instinct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So when he made that statement, put me anywhere in the world, put a ring in there, and I'm coming out victorious. At 36, he may be getting that killer instinct.
Let me tell you why, just what you talked about, why this is going to be such a grand event and a grand fight. And I can almost guarantee that everybody out there will get their money's worth regardless of the outcome. Because you got Floyd Mayweather that not only refuses to lose, doesn't believe he will ever lose. And he's got the skills and the mentality and the smartness in the ring to back that up. It's been proven.
44 have tried, 44 have failed.
Now you've got a young kid coming to the ring who is hungry. And don't take any away from hunger. I mean, this, unlike most of Floyd's opponents who have come into the ring for a payday, for a paycheck, a la Robert the Ghost Guerrero. He never thought he was going to win this fight. It was all lip service because he wanted to land that big check. And he did. He landed that check.
He did. And to speak about Canelo on that, here's the part I like most about the fight is Canelo doesn't speak good English yet.
No.
So he can't pop off at the mouth like an Adrian Broner. He can't pop off at the mouth like a Robert Guerrero.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's never been in a bad fight. He's always in exciting fights.
He's hungry. He's hungry, and you cannot substitute that with hungry. He's hungry, and he's not to where he doesn't have skills.
Exactly.
He's very talented.
Very skilled fighter.
He knows how to leverage punches. Okay, so the key is, will he be able to gain the respect from Floyd? Will he be able to hurt him and say, okay, you're in a fight? Well, obviously, you got a guy that's hungry that's coming in here, and the first on his mind is to win. Secondary is the payday. Okay, first on his mind is to win. So,
and the payday might not even be secondary because regardless if it's Mayweather or who it is, Canelo has proven that he's gonna be a star and he's gonna make money. This may be his biggest payday, but he's still gonna be wealthy in the sport of boxing.
He's just starting. And so what I'm saying is, it's awfully hard to take a man down when they're that hungry and that determined. You know, it goes to that old ghetto mentality: is you have to kill me to stop me, because I'm not going to stop.
And that's the great thing about Mayweather is, yes, he's money made. Yes, he has millions in the bank, but he's never lost that. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He's never lost that. You know what? I have a mansion now, but I grew up in a 2-bedroom house with grandma.
Let me tell you something about Floyd. And you know, I've had the opportunity to meet him on several occasions. Been in his camp. We were his chief sparring partner for 3 of his fights in Southpaws. The man he's class. When you see him and you get to know him on a personal basis, he's not like the snob that you get people with a lot of money are. I mean, he's just not. I mean, he's just one of them guys will talk to you. He'll sit there. He'll talk to you. He doesn't shy. I mean, unless you meet him, you just don't know this.
Exactly.
He's just one of them guys where if you know him, you can't hate him. You can. He's just got that personality.
And like I said, a lot of people who, you know, don't particularly like Floyd, you know, negative about him, don't know him, and like we go back to the Broner.
Yep.
Don't judge the lifestyle. You know, these guys are professional athletes, But they're humans. We're humans. You know
Well,
what I
see,
mean?
but it's Floyd doesn't engage in that illegal activity, pushing out his chest and want to be that illegal stuff. Anyway, not that I know of, or not that people just know of, or that's been out there in the media. As a matter of fact, you'll see Floyd in Vegas, and he'll go out to the clubs and do all this, but he doesn't drink.
He doesn't.
Floyd doesn't drink. He's not out there drinking. He's not.
And a lot of the community deeds that he does partake in, he doesn't show it off to the media.
No.
You know what I mean? He doesn't need the cameras to see him doing a good deed.
Yes.
Because he's doing it from his heart. He's doing it just to be a good person.
Knows.
Not for the cameras, not for the publicity, not for the media.
He's a good person. But anyway, we'll so we don't start rambling. We're going to go out there and keep an eye on this fight. We're going to follow the tour. We'll keep bringing you updates on the show here on things to come. Hopefully we'll get some insights. We're going to make our calls to both camps. Try to get some inside information once the tour completes and makes its way, and we get into the focus of them promoting the fight. And I think we'll follow this until September 14th, Eric. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So, in the meantime, come back and see us, and in the meantime, keep them hands up.